Hi guys, my name is Sam Barefoot, but I'm better known as the Digestion Detective, and I run a podcast. And I came across the lovely David Ralph maybe, I don't know, a year and a half ago, probably maybe 18 months, and he interviewed me for the wonderful Join Up Dots, which is hugely popular and has become, a brilliant podcast to listen to. But after that, I kind of had to start picking his brain, because although I was podcasting and I was doing pretty well, each month my numbers were increasing by about 100%, which you're probably sitting there thinking that's fantastic, which it is, but you should always strive to do a little bit better. So I sort of started picking his brain about what he does, how he does what he does, and all those kinds of things. And that's when he told me about the academy that he was putting together. And did I want to become a part of it? So naturally I jumped the chance, and I have to say it's one of the best things that I've done. Going from, I gave you a little figure of, my numbers were increasing, my download numbers were increasing by about 100% every month, so yeah, that's brilliant. But with David's advice, support, the information that he puts out there, the things that he's put together in the academy, all his wonderful knowledge and experience, if I now says to you that they started to increase by 1,000% every month, that's kind of a figure that you really, should be interested in. I'm pretty pleased that he's put this together. There's lots of stuff out there on the internet about building the brand for yourself, building a podcast, building yourself a better life. But not everything delivers. But he does. He's so encouraging. The group that you get to be put in the Facebook group, that's always really good as well. There's lots of really influential people there. They're always chatting about something great, and if one person doesn't know the answer, there's usually somebody else out there that does. So what else can I say about it? It's definitely something you guys need to get a handle on and get involved with if you want to change your lifestyle, change what you're doing, and become the better version of yourself. So yeah, this is me signing off. Hopefully it's helped you make the decision whether you're going to come on board or not. I'll be in the group as well, so I'll see you on the other side. Take care.
Yeah, hello there and welcome to today's video, where we look about how to structure your show, how to make sure that the show is going to be right for you in the long term, and not make the mistake that so many podcasts do, where they have to have a rebranding halfway through or they change the structure. What we want to do is create a show that you build upon and you build upon, getting more and more listeners, more and more loyalty, and ultimately more and more customers, which leads to money. Right, there's no getting away from it. A podcast there's no use to having a podcast if you're not making income from it. It just seems a waste of time. That's a hobby. And what we're teaching you here is how to create a business around a podcast, while either having the business first, adding a podcast, or creating it with the podcast first. And you want to get money from it. And it is extremely profitable if you do it the right way. So what we're going to do is show you how to start thinking about your podcast right from the very beginning. And the very first thing that you need to do, it's a bit of preparation for you. And if you do it right, it should take you about 3 weeks or so. But hey, you've got the rest of your life ahead of you. So don't think that you've got to steam through everything. What we're teaching you in 5 days is how to launch a podcast. If you do it at your own pace afterwards, then you've got an amazing opportunity. Now, this is the number one mistake that podcasters make without a doubt. Get ready for it. They choose a subject that they get bored with. Yeah, you would think that they buy the microphone, they set up, they go through all the training and everything's great and they're really wanting to go for it. But actually what you find is that after a period of time, and the average of shows released before the host stops is between 7 episodes and 15. Yeah, that's all it is. And you can prove that by going over to iTunes and looking around, and you will see so many shows have just stopped. Now, with Join Up Dots, I'm coming up to 600 shows. I've done about 580. And I've got another podcast as well, which is Dream Starters Academy podcast. And literally, I can just release. I love doing it because I've chosen a subject that is right for me. So this is how you do it. First of all, you get a piece of paper, A4 paper, doesn't have to be dramatic, it just needs to be something to scribble down. And you put 3 columns. On the first column, you have love. The middle column, you have like. And on the last column, you have hate. And the idea of this is over a period of time, every time you do something that you think, oh, I hate this, jot it down. So one of my sort of least favourite things is sort of washing up and drying up and stuff. So I'd always write that there. I like going to the movies. Well, no, actually I love going to the movies, but I dislike watching television. It's just kind of just a waste of time. So what you're going to do is just jot down everything. And you may not think that they're connected. You may just think that it's random thoughts going through you. But what you're doing, first of all, is you are creating themes. And over a period of time, you'll be able to look at that list and you can think, okay, yeah, I can see a connection here. I can see themes that run through that I actually love. It might be that I love being outside. So a podcast about the outdoors pursuits might be something that you love talking about. It might be something that you love, watching films or listening to music. All these kind of loves are your passions. These are your core essence. These are the things that wake you up every morning ready to go. And more often than not, we turn them into hobbies because we have to go to work. We have to go to work and earn bills, earn money to pay bills. But what you're going to be doing, of course, is converting a podcast into income. So literally, it means it's hobby. Now, I'm recording this video at the moment. I love doing this, and I could do this all day, every day. And that is one of my key loves, that I love communicating. I love training, which is why Podcasters Mastery has done so amazingly well for me, because I literally add content time and time again. I never get bored with it, and I want to change the content to make it better, to make it more valuable. So this is one of the things I love doing, and it's my job as well, which is brilliant. So this is the first part of this video. What we need to do is get you to work out what you love, what you like and what you hate. And obviously we're going to try to keep away from subjects that you hate and keep towards the ones that you love or you like. Now, one of the big mistakes that people make, they see the success of other people. They will see my show, they will see loads of podcasts out there, and they go, oh, he's doing really well, he's successful, I'm going to do a similar thing. Wrong, because that may not be the right subject for you. I love doing join up dots, and I could do it, once again, every single day. It's very tiring when I'm doing it because I'm so fully focused, but at the end of the day, and I've done 6 or 7 interviews, absolutely love it, and then I don't have to do it again for another week. That is my subject, and I can't see that I'm going to run out of steam on that at all. Just bring them on, and I'm going to have these conversations with these guys and produce it out to the world. And the more production you can make, the more products you can produce, bang, that's your income. That's where listeners come, because what you're doing, you're providing content that they like, and they will come back. Oh, there's more. They listen to it. Oh, there's more. They listen to it. And little by little, you can get them into your sales funnels and then get them into your website or wherever your monetization is. Okay, so that is the very first part of this video, and that is choosing a subject that you are going to love. Okay, so you've already looked at what you love, but of course what we want to do is take that subject and think about what your customer, your listeners are going to love. That is where the monetization starts coming true for you, and you start building a business around a podcast. So bear in mind you haven't launched. How do you find out what content people want? How do you create a show that people are going to come to time and time again and hopefully share it with their friends? Now, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to prepare. This is, once again, something that podcasters don't seem to do. They just get this idea, yes, that's what I'm going to do, steam into it, and then realise once again they get bored with it and that they haven't planned out the monetization at the beginning. Now, how you do this, first of all, is once you've got that subject that you love, okay, and we have been doing the love, like, hate, you have to take those themes that you love most, and you need to do a bit of research. Now, this is only a short video in this one because we can't go into it in the depth that we do in Podcasters Mastery. But what we need to do is research. So imagine that you've come up with the fact that you love dogs and you love talking to people. Okay, so these are the two things. Now, just off the top of my head, I would think to myself, now there's monetization in dogs because there are dog training. That actually works quite well because you would be talking to people. So dog training, there would be dog equipment, there would be different brands of dogs, there would be dog licensing. So there's loads of different elements that people are willing to pay for based around dogs, and it's a passion for people. People love their dogs and they like to buy stuff for them. So that would be quite a good idea of a podcast. But of course you don't want to just do all dogs, because then that is going to be too broad. And what they say, and it's true, is if you market to all folk, you'll go broke, but if you niche, then you'll become rich. So what we need to do with that idea is work out what are the most common or most niche dogs. So you might look for French poodles, for example. So we've taken that idea of what you like, and you've started looking at subjects that have already got some monetization around them. So all those products as well, on dog training, you don't actually have to create anything yourself. It's already out there. You can link to your website. All you're doing with a podcast is actually communicating with people. You're giving them your knowledge, your expertise, to which they will then come over to your platform, your website, your business, to actually buy those products. So if you are doing something along those kind of routes, then there are affiliate schemes. You can link to other people's products straight off the bat and start making money. So it's a great way of doing it. Now, getting back to it, if we were going to do French poodles, French poodle is of course very niche. But what we need to do is get some research. We need to look around and we need to do a bit of investigation on what people are talking about based around French poodles. Now, one of the best ways and the best places where people talk about stuff all the time is on Facebook. Okay, and we're going to prove that now, because we're going to jump into Facebook and we're going to have a look at subjects. We're going to look at French poodle because it's just an example, and we're going to see that there's different groups and we're going to see what people are talking about. So we're going to go in now. Right, okay, so here I am in Facebook. Here's my Facebook account. And what I want to do, I want to type in groups. So I'm going to go to groups. And then if there's a quicker way of doing that, I don't know, but I always type in groups and then I search for groups here. Okay. And so now in there, I'm going to type in French poodles. And we're going to have a look to see all the groups based around French poodles. Right, okay, so instantly there are a lot of them. And you might think it's really niche, but of course, across the globe, which a podcast is, you're going to have people left, right and centre. And I can see on there, so there's 4,800, 3,000, 1,000, 2,000, 2,200, 10,000. Now, some of these aren't in English, but it's all right. It gives me an indication that just in Facebook, there are so many people that are interested in French poodles. Now, it's a real niche. You know, I don't know a thing about French poodles at all, but all these guys are. So the very first thing that what I would do is ask to join as many of them. So I would join all the groups, and then once that I've been accepted, I would start going in there. So we'll say this one here. Okay, this is French poodle, and you can go over to Google and I believe you can translate these. And all I'm doing, I'm going to go up and down here and I'm going to look at the kind of things that people are asking about. And more often than not, they're going to be asking about, you know, what to do with a sick poodle, or what to do with a grooming, or I've got a dog that won't behave, how have I trained? And all of these things are great ideas, because ultimately all you've got to do is provide the content that they want you to provide, and ka-ching. Now, it may seem a bit cynical, but it's not at all. What you're doing is you're providing the solution to a problem. You're providing what your listener wants, and that is the quickest way to build a business. Okay, So if we scroll down again, or we go over to the group, and we can look at other ones. Let's say French Poodle here. Now, once again, is Google translating that? Okay, you want that your poodle is the cover of our group for a week. Send us your photo and translations. So you can go up and down. All I'm doing here is market research, nothing more than that. And Facebook is brilliant because it's about people talking, and you can look at what they're talking about. So when I did Join Up Dots, I literally knew what I was going to make money about really off the bat. And I had the first money I made, I think I was getting something like about 14 listeners a day. Really early days. And it was just buying an affiliate program. But I'd linked to my website. Somebody came across and they clicked on it. But it was still income because I knew what my guys were going to be looking for. Because by looking at the research, and we'll go over to Google, and I'm going to go French Poodle owners. Okay, dog owners guide profile, the poodle dog breed information. What I'm doing, poodles with famous owners. That would be interesting because you can see the kind of people that like a poodle. So I can see instantly the glamorous ladies, which is quite obvious really, like poodles because they're kind of cute. Marilyn Monroe, James Mansfield, and lots of famous people there. So there's an element of glamour. That would also give me some idea of how I can market my podcast. So I don't want to do it as, learn poodle techniques. I would want to add some kind of element of star or Hollywood on there, or some kind of glamour, just to make it more sparky and make it more fun, because that seems to be the kind of people that like poodles. So that is your first thing. Go through Facebook and look and write down all the kind of things that people are talking about on your subject that you think you fancy doing. And if they're asking questions about problems, then that is great, because that gives you your content to your podcast, and it also, and this is the best thing, it means that they're looking for solutions, and all you've got to do is provide that solution. So this is a quick run through. As I say, we go into it so much more in depth in Podcasters Mastery, but it gives you a flavour of how to actually get your show going. Now we're going to look at actually creating all that information and building your ideal avatar, your customer, so that you take all the information that you know what they're asking about and you build up a picture of the kind of ideal customer for your show. Now, this is going to be a very brief module. We're going to build this up over 3 or 4 avatar-based concepts, but we're going to start with the question first of all, is quite simply, what is an avatar? Now, so many businesses, so many companies out there make fatal mistakes when they start off by not considering who their ideal customer is. Who are the people that are going to buy the product? Who are the people, in this case, that are going to be your listeners? And if you don't do this, then you really are throwing your content out to the wind and just hoping that it will find a market. By spending time really thinking and drilling down on the kind of personality traits, the pain points, the pleasure points, the kind of things that people are looking for solutions for, then you have got a great chance of creating a podcast that is really going to gain a huge traction, a huge market, and ultimately bring financial rewards to you. And at the end of the day, I suppose that's what we're all in it for. We want to provide value to our customers. We want to make a good show, but we also want to provide an income to ourselves and our families. So in this video, we're just going to start very, very quickly thinking about what is an avatar. And the avatar, in my case, started with who will listen to my show, to your show. What kind of person is out there? Why am I tailoring my content? What do I hope to actually achieve? And it's a really brilliant question, that who will listen to your show, because once you actually sit there starting to think about that, you can then tailor your content to be absolutely spot on for what you feel that person is going to want, why they're going to tune in on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis to get more and more of your content. Why are they going to become loyal? So the very first question I want you to just think about is, who will listen to your show? Who are you creating the show for? Now, actually, with myself, I was quite lucky, and it was myself. I actually love motivational content. I love inspirational speech. And so the show was really for me. But as I've seen, it has gained a huge audience because there are so many people out there looking for the same thing. But I made sure that it was going to inspire me, first of all, and then the audience. Now, the next question I asked, why will they listen to your show? So we're going into the next area now. We're drilling down. So we know who they are, but why will they listen to it? What are they aiming to get out of this? Really, this is touching on the pain points. People are generally asking for a solution to a problem, or they're trying to solve some kind of issue that they have. Not many people will, unless it's a comedy show, will just go for entertainment. I think that the most valuable way of building an income is actually getting people to come back time and time again because they're trying to find an answer in their lives. So why will they listen to your show? And once again, we're going to drill down into all these questions a little bit more later. How often will they listen to your show? Do you think that it's going to be once a month, every single day? Is it going to be 3 times a day? Why will they listen? How often will they listen? Who will listen? All incredibly important questions. Now, how often will they listen to your show? It really is down to you and how much content you feel that you can actually provide. You might want to do a very short bite-sized chunk, 15 minutes a day. You might want to do a longer show 3 times a week. That's totally up to you. But start thinking about it. How often will they listen to your show? Now, I like the idea of having a show every single morning. So you sort of wake up and you go boom, and you can listen to Join Up Dots. You may feel differently dependent on who your target audience is, i.e. your avatar. And where will they listen to your show? Is this going to be the kind of show that they will listen to jogging? Is it going to be the kind of one that they can do other things, i.e. mowing the lawn, dealing with the kids? Or do they actually have to sit in an armchair and really focus into it? Once again, a great question, but where will they actually listen to it? Now, I felt that my show was going to be listened to predominantly in cubicles, at work, on the bus, on the train, or driving around. I don't think many people in my head was going to be mowing the lawn, taking the kids to the walk. Maybe they are. That'd be brilliant because that's more avenues. But when I thought about it, I was targeting my content for the people that are in a job, they don't really like it, and they want to break free from it. So they're looking for answers to their questions. Your avatar is a fictional character leading to your ideal customer. The reason that you're actually tailoring the content, you're creating the content. Spend time on those 4 questions first of all. Who will listen to your show? Get a picture of who they are in your head, and then we're going to give you some really good questions to be able to take that and flesh it out so you know the content is going to be valuable for the people that you're providing it for. Well, if you'd watched the previous one, which was what is an avatar, we fleshed out a few questions that we're going to now drill down on in this module. Now, the questions we asked previously were, who will listen to your show? Why will they listen to your show? Where will they listen to your show? And how often will they listen to your show? Now, these were 4 key questions that are incredibly important when you start to actually build your avatar and create a profile of your ideal customer, your perfect listener. Well, we're going to break these down now, and this is just a subtext to the questions you can ask. You can go as long as you want on these, and in many ways it's better to do that, to ask as many questions so that you build up a incredibly detailed profile of your customer. If you know that, then your content will be laser targeted for what they want. It's so much easier to become a success when you know who you're aiming for. So let's start with the first question that we asked: who will listen to your show? Now, these are quite generic, these are quite vague, but we can go deeper and deeper and deeper as we progress through. So you say it's a man or a woman. It might be both. It might just be targeted content for males. It might be for females. Know your gender. Know the people that are going to be listening. Their ages. Are they young? Are they old? Are they middle-aged? Where do they live? Now, this is going to be an interesting question because ideally you want customers that are global, so you've got the widest spread possible. But if you are targeting certain sporting equipment, for example, then you may not be interested with people that live in snowy climes. You might be looking for people that live in hot and tropical countries. So my ideal avatar is pretty much global. Anywhere that somebody can work or somebody can drive or somebody can walk, I am aiming for that market. But you may be very different and you are looking for people who have got a certain amount of nature around them. They're not city based. Where do they live? Brilliant question to ask. Where do they work? Once again, the same thing. Do they work in a cubicle? Do they work in an office? Do they work in a sports centre? Where do you think that your customer will be working on a daily basis? Where will that content that you provide resonate the most with them? How many friends do they have? Now, you can see these kind of questions. We are guessing, but hey, you can guess as many times as you want, and the more times you do guess, you are going to ultimately create somebody out there. If you guess numerous different questions, somebody is going to fall into those categories. Somebody is going to be your ideal listener, and you've got to get into a global wide mindset. You've got to think to yourself, okay, this isn't just going to be one person. This is going to be 100 people. This is going to be 1,000 people. This is going to be 100,000 people if you ask the right questions. And remember, by asking those questions, you are going to be finding your customer who will be waiting for your content. And once you build up loyalty with them, then ultimately at the end of it, you will be able to sell coaching. You will be able to sell products. You'll be able to sell a myriad of things to be able to bring income towards you. So how many friends do they have? For example, my one, I always thought they had 3 or 4 close, maybe 5 sort of sub friends, the kind of people that you might go out for a drink with or you might spend some time with, but they're not really your key best mates. So how many friends do they have? Please ask that question and answer it. What are their hobbies? What kind of things are they interested in? Once again, it ties into your content. If they're interested in fishing, then you might want to build content based around fishing. If they are interested in computers, then computer information might be the way to build your podcast. And remember, we're doing this all at the same time at defining your actual show, the content, how much content you can produce. It's all based around this. You might find that the content that you're going to provide is going to be so laser targeted that you only have to do it once a month. You might find that it only has to be twice a week. It might be whatever. What are their hobbies? Drill down, find out the things that you think that your customer will want to hear about. And how long do they sleep? Are they somebody that gets up very quickly and got a huge amount of action-taking spirit and want to get out and do their thing every single day? Are they somebody that lays in bed and they can't be bothered to get going, and the last thing that they want to do is look around and face the world? How long do they sleep is probably one of those questions that people may not ask when they do create their perfect listener, their customer, but it gives you an indication of their spirit. Are you going to be talking to somebody that is likely to be getting up at 5 o'clock each morning and going for a run first thing and looking for the nearest mountain to climb? Or are you looking at somebody that just can't get going? Incredibly important, and it will tailor your content in the direction that you want. What do they eat? Are they junk food? Are they fast food? Are they healthy food? Do they cook it themselves? Do they go to the local supermarket? Do they get somebody to cook it? Do they order in? What do they eat gives you a good indication again. As do all these questions, we can pretty much say the same thing every single time. It gives you an indication of what that kind of person is. I would pretty much in my head think that if somebody is sleeping a lot and eating junk food all the time, then they're not going to be the most active person. Is it a guess? I think it's an educated guess, and I think it's going to be valuable if I was creating a health-based podcast or an inspirational podcast that I'm doing. These might be the kind of guys that I can go, come on guys, change your eating habits, change the way that you sleep, get up earlier, be more proactive. That would create the message behind my show. Why will they listen to your show? They're bored in their lives. They want to have something better than they're getting. They want more fun. They want more money. Now, they want more money might be something if you've got information about investing or online presence, building affiliate programs. That might be very, very interesting. It might also be interesting if you want to teach side hustles, i.e. how you can make money around your day-to-day job. Now, I looked at mine, and mine were definitely, they're bored in their lives, they want more fun, they want more money, and they want to be entertained. They were the four that I really focused in on. But are they lonely as well? Are they looking to get some kind of connection with somebody else? Are they looking to broaden their horizons and find friends and find interests that maybe they didn't have previously? Are they overweight? Are they skinny? Are they feeling lost? All those questions hugely important. And once again, you can go 3 times as many questions as that. The more you lay down, the more you spend time on this, the more detailed it will be and the more powerful your content will be. How often will they listen to your show? Are they going to listen twice a day? Are they going to listen while they're going to work and while they're coming home from work? So that might be a great way of thinking about what content to produce. Are you going to do the inspirational, motivational chat? Are you going to do something that might be based on outside interests so they can think about it on the way home from work and then go out and try it in the evening? Are you going to create content once a week that they can listen to and then work on over a period of time? You wouldn't want to be hitting them with too much because they wouldn't be able to create that path that they want. But if it's something that is a tutorial based, almost serial based, then once a week might be perfectly adequate and it gives you time to actually create that content. Once a month, probably I would think more than once a month, but I do know shows that are doing very, very well on once a month because they provide so much value in that episode that people can go away and work on it for that period of time. And the last question, where will they listen to your show? At work? In a home office? Driving? At the gym? Walking? So if it's things like at the gym, then you wouldn't want your content to be so detailed that they can't remember it. A lot of my content is very generic, so it does apply to all areas really. But you might be creating content where they want to take notes and they want to make detailed plans. So you would be tailoring yours to at work, in a home office, certainly not driving, certainly not at the gym, and certainly not walking. So those 4 questions: who will listen to your show? Why will they listen to your show? Where will they listen to your show? How often? Will lead you into a very detailed description of your ideal avatar. Once you've got that, then you can start thinking about the show that you want to produce. And it really is the key thing to spend as much time on as possible. Don't just zip over it because you're eager to start getting your podcast logo and your Libsyn account and your microphone all set up. Spend as much time as you can on this because it will be a head start to success. So, in summary, think about how you want to project yourself. Think about the subject that lights you up inside and really makes you excited to turn on the microphone every day, because the more excitement you've got, the more content you're going to produce. But of course, it's no good if the content that you love, nobody else does. So the other part of the coin is the avatar, the customer, the listener, whatever you want to phrase it. You've got to make sure that you get an equal balance of what you love and what they love, and you put it together. And that is why the research is so important. That is why just doing your homework before you press record will reap so many more dividends. It really will. And you just see it time and time again. People obviously haven't done this. And there's additional stuff you can do, like getting the right logo and a different name to get the clickability and stuff. But that's all kind of added. That is nice to have. The key thing is, do you love it? And does your listener love it? And if that's the case, then really you've set your show on a good path for success. Now, any questions you have on this module, like all the others, I will be here at the end of the day to answer live. Just type them into the comment box below, and we'll connect, and I will go through every question that you have about this subject. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.